Today we're going to be talking about how to change materials in our model house. So first, we're going to start with our roof. I'm going to select that and hit Edit Type. To hit. And this one, it says it wants us to change the color. So we can make it, I'm going to make it a dark gray. If you want, you can scroll around in here, change it up. Sometimes in certain projects, they'll have you change it by number. That'll help you really pinpoint a certain color. But in this case, I'm just going to stick with this. Hit OK. Wait for it to load. There, I just clicked, I know I did that too fast, the coarse scale fill pattern. This will help me show what kind of tracing is going to show up, usually just in the 2D. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find a hatch pattern that looks like a roof. So I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to scroll down and see if there's anything I like better. I'm just going to stick with that. That's not really what roofing looks like, but it will have to suffice for now. Hit OK. There we go. So it should show up if we go to our roof plan and hit fine. It's not quite working yet. It'll show up when you start rendering. That's usually what you see it. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on our railing and see if it'll let us change that material. Show offset. Okay, it looks like it doesn't have a material section, so that's good to know. We can switch up the type of structure if we want, but that's not what we're worried about today. The thing we can do is we can click on our door. There we go, door material. Now these little dots right there. There we go. So this is the classic door panel. So one thing I can do is I can edit this one, or I can scroll down and see if there's anything else I would like. So I actually like this door panel idea. So I'm going to do, this is what it looks like in real life. Gives you a lot of details in here. So right here, mess with the transparency. I can make it look a little bit clearer if I want to. I'm going to change the color just slightly. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. You can see the original versus the new. It's just slightly darker. I'll hit OK. Pattern. I actually do want a pattern on the door. I think it could be kind of fun. I'm going to scroll down. We'll give it just some jagged lines. There we go. Again, we're going to select that color. We'll go great. We'll see what happens then. Perfect. Yeah, so there's a lot of different sections you can play with. You can hide and show these. You can add a bunch of different patterns if you'd like. If you go into the Appearance tab, it shows you what it's going to look like. I can change the stain color if I want to, but I'm not going to mess with that. The finish, I want it to be a semi-gloss. I want it to be a little bit shiny. So just for furniture, yes, that's right. You have to check that if you want to be able to change it, but we don't want tint. I think I'm going to relief. This basically shows how old it looks. So you see if I scroll, it starts to look like it's a little bit more weathered, but we want this to be a little bit newer construction, so we're actually going to lower the relief. Go to identity. This just gives you some of the random materials. We don't need a keynote for this door, so we're just going to go ahead and hit OK, and then OK again. Oh no, we're going to go ahead and do our frame. We're going to darken that color up just a little bit, just so it matches the rest of the door. We're not going to give it a pattern this time. We're going to go ahead into Appearance and make sure that is a semi-gloss to match the rest of it. And we do want to spray on, that's kind of cool. Tint, no, we don't want to do that. There we go. Hit OK. And then now that you've changed both materials, I'm going to hit OK again. Now you can see that in this view, I'll scroll out, it does show the lines that we added. So that's really fun. All right, let's maybe do a little bit more. So I'm going to select our floor right here. It's our concrete slab. I'm going to hit edit type. We're going to hit, it's a type of concrete, but we're going to change the color. We're going to change it to a light gray. Mess, but we'll go about right there. That looks pretty good. Again, you can mess with it. You can turn it off and on and see what kind of color you like. That is a concrete selection. See if there's anything different that we like better. Nope, that sounds like a pretty good one. If you get really fancy, you can actually insert different ones, you know, off the internet if you choose. And that way you can get different lines and patterns and things like that. And it just kind of makes your model just a little bit more unique. I'm not planning on doing anything with the walls, but I'll show you what you do if you were going to mess with them. Go into the graphics. If you wanted to add a pattern, you could. So let's say maybe make the walls, we'll give it a, say maybe we want like a plaster on the outside. If our walls were plastered, we maybe put like a sand pattern on it to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then instead of black, we'll, a little bit of fun, make it like a light green. Maybe you painted your plaster a nice green. There you go. Make sure it is exterior, that's good. Hit OK. And there you go. So now since we didn't select all the walls, you have to see if it actually changed this one as well. Since we use the same wall type, in this case, they should stay the same. See, look, it took the things that I changed because I changed the wall family. Now, if I just wanted to change one, I would have had to duplicate it. Perfect. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ceiling. Oh, it looks like I accidentally made it a floor. That's interesting. I didn't realize I did that. I'll have to fix that. All right, so yeah, since I accidentally made that into a floor when I created it, probably because I was planning on doing a second floor and then I didn't, it's going to have the same properties as our concrete slab right here because it is the same thing. There you go. Okay, so you're not seeing all the values right here. When you start to render, you're going to see a lot of the changes we did in a lot more detail. And again, yeah, graphics, that's just a pattern that someone loaded. Okay, so that's how you change it. You see that some of our lines are showing up and our pattern on the concrete changed a little bit. So make sure to save your project at the end. And I hope you guys learned something today.